So I bring that set of assumptions to my show, that America is an idea, but in order for it to work, everyone has to buy into the idea. And as I age, I understand the weakness inherent in that system. It can work, but you have to be really thoughtful about it. I mean, countries, this idea, and I took an enormous amount of criticism for saying it, but this slogan that everyone throws out, diversity is our strength, is a lie. And it doesn't mean, by the way, let me just say, diversity is neither good nor bad. I'm not against diversity. I'm not for it. It's a state that's neutral, morally, but it's definitely not our strength. Is that true in your marriage? The less you have in common with your wife, the closer you are? Are you super close if you don't share a common language? Is it true in your company? Like no one can agree on what we're supposed to be doing, therefore we're really successful? Is it true in a military unit? It's insane, actually. And so, again, that's not an argument against diversity. I'm not against it. It's just a reminder that if you want to have a country that's cohesive, that doesn't fall apart and wind up at war with itself, you need to find a unifying belief that everyone buys into and new arrivals are required to buy into. And I think the Bill of Rights is a good place to start. And so if you bring people over, and the next thing you know, they're like, I don't think we need freedom of speech in this country now. And I've interviewed 1 million people who've been here about 20 minutes who are lecturing me about why freedom of speech is like immoral. Oh, 100%. 100%. That when the imperatives of diversity and freedom of expression collide, diversity wins. Like literally. Those are the segments where I have trouble keeping my temper. Because, if it's just such an outrage prima facie that someone would show up in your country and start lecturing you about your ancient traditions and telling you they're immoral. First of all, that's just offensive. But more to the point, it's a threat to our existence as a cohesive country. We need, and by the way, this is the job of the ruling class. Like if you're in charge of a family, as I am, then you need to figure out there's 6 of us. What do we all believe? Like what are our traditions? Like what are we about? What does it mean to be one of my kids? And every Christmas day, we go to a Chinese restaurant in downtown DC, even though we're Protestant, everyone else is Jewish or Chinese, but we go, and that's what we do. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it means to be one of my kids. You go to Tony Cheng's Mongolian barbecue every Christmas day. And that's a decision I made as the head of my family. Do you see what I'm saying? And my kids are like, what does it mean to be one of the Carlson shows? Well, we go to Tony Cheng's or like the 9, you know what I mean? And this is what we believe. That's what leaders do. They set the terms for the group. And our leaders, because they are totally inadequate to the job in front of them, have refused to do that. And what you're getting is something whose consequences we will all suffer, which is disunion. So, I mean, in my tiny role as a cable host of one show, I just want to be a voice to remind people that no diversity is not bad. It's definitely not our strength. Let's find what our strength is. Thank you.